I couldn't breathe, like I really couldn't breathe, gasping for air, like drowning in people.
Right now, multiple agencies are working through criminal investigations in Houston after 8 people were killed at a music festival. The victims died when a crowd surged toward the stage where rapper Travis Scott was performing. Among the victims, a 21-year-old student from Western Washington University, whose family has now filed a lawsuit. Our Hot Topics panel is here to weigh in on this and more, including King 5 traffic anchor Shantae Sumter, New Day producer Rebecca Perry, and our executive producer Joseph Suttner. Thank you all for sitting on the couch to talk about this very serious topic. This is something that has happened before at concerts, but it is devastating. What do you think? You have to wonder, Travis Scott, when he was standing up there, what did he know and when? Do you see this happening? Do you stop it? What happens?
Well, I think you probably see something happening, but you know, as you know from being someone that has to like perform on camera, sometimes when stuff is happening, it's hard to tell what's going on if you're trying to pay attention to doing your job. But at the same time, I wasn't there. It may have been apparent. Who knows? I mean, I think that's what they're trying to figure out right now, right?
You have the bright lights of the stage. Sometimes it can be hard to see. Obviously, it's very loud. But you know, there were times that you could tell during the recordings where Travis Scott could see that there was an ambulance in the crowd, and yet he still continued the concert. The fire chief had mentioned that the chaos kind of started around 9 o'clock at night, and the first people started going down by 9:30, and the concert continued until 10:10. So it was a long time that there were issues that were going on.
I will say I have a friend who's from Houston, and so we were discussing this yesterday, and she was saying how with Travis Scott concerts, generally it's normal for people to get rowdy, pass out. I saw that there were 2 incidents prior where one, he was facing some type of trouble with the law for telling people to rush past security. So I guess for him, you see people, let's say, fainting. You don't necessarily probably know that they are deceased, but it's hard to say what he knew or what was happening in that moment.
Right. It's a tough one, and I'm sure the investigations will continue.
And he does say that he is cooperating fully with the investigations, and he has stepped in to say that he'll pay for the funerals for the 8 victims. So
interesting.
And therapy for everybody else who was there.
So I mean, seeing their faces. I mean,
and regardless of any of that, just like general admission concerts like that is just not fun for me. If you're trying to enjoy the music and then like you know,
I'm way past that age.
Yeah, I'm too old for that now.
Adele actually stopped a concert when she saw that someone had passed out. Yeah. It's a different concert, though, Adele.
Right.
Much different than Travis Scott. All right, let's move on to another very, very controversial issue that's sweeping America this week. Aaron Rodgers testing positive for COVID. A lot of people have a lot of feelings about this.
Yeah, that in itself, not, you know, that happens, but everybody was under the impression that he was vaccinated because of comments that he had made in the past. And so now that they're just finding this out.
Well, not only that, but the NFL has a very strict vaccination policy. That is what was so shocking. And you know how the NFL is about anything that is not done right. And so I guess they are investigating right now whether or not he broke protocol for not wearing a mask now. Can you imagine being in a huddle? 24, 36, 20, I mean, like, that's a big concern.
I'm a big football fan. I watch football every Sunday, and I've seen video of course, Aaron Rodgers on the sidelines without a mask. So the NFL, they do have protocol when you are unvaccinated. You're supposed to have on a mask, you know, when you're on the sidelines, when you are in the team's facility area. So I think it's pretty clear that he probably wasn't following that, but I feel like it's different strokes for different folks. This is Aaron Rodgers. This isn't the third string backup.
This is Aaron Rodgers. Which also brings up another point. It's interesting. Another person who's come under scrutiny for pushing vaccinations. You heard about this?
Person?
Yes. The bird.
The big bird.
The big bird himself. Big Bird. Yeah, that's right. So apparently Senator Ted Cruz is kind of coming after Big Bird, claiming American children are being indoctrinated with government propaganda because Big Bird is technically the government. Right?
PBS is funded by the federal government. Yeah.
I mean, that bird is there to help teach young children things that are complex to understand in a simple way, and I think he's doing his job.
And he's been doing this since the 1970s. That clip that we just saw
was from the 70s.
Was from the 70s.
When he was talking about vaccines.
Yeah, so it's not
like
a new
flu
thing.
Vaccine or,
yeah,
Yeah.
And there, back in the 70s, there was also a Star Wars PSA that went out that encouraged parents to get their kids vaccinated.
That R2D2.
So
he's really good at pushing an issue
Yes.
along
Yes.
the floor.
Look at him. I mean, there he is.
With Big Bird, I Googled, he's quote unquote 6. So who better to relate to a toddler than someone that is their age, or not
Their
a toddler, a young child?
So do you trust Big Bird or Elmo more when it comes to information?
Grover.
Grover. Always.
Grover's great.
100%. I like Oscar the Grouch personally.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Thank you for joining in this discussion. A lot of things going on today.